All right, how many people out there like cowboys? How many people out there like dead Nazis? Woo! This is the day after D-Day, June 7th. On June 6th, obviously, the Allied forces landed on the beaches of Normandy and started gunning down Nazis. And on June 7th, they gunned down even more. So this is a story that takes place before then. Before the United States was in the war, there was only one American in Paris that was willing to take on the Boche. And when I say Nazi, I want you to say Boche. We're going to learn some French right now. Nazi. Boche. Come on. You turn it up. Come on. Nazi. Boche. Nazi. Boche. All right. June 1940. The Nazis invade France. Paris quickly falls under the Boche jackboot, their bloody banner flying high above the Eiffel Tower. 6 Boche soldiers lounge easily outside the Happy Flower Cafe. They seem content to sit, drink, and speak their horrible language at each other, acting more like rude tourists than invaders. Inside the cafe, Jean Malheur had just written down the day's special on the blackboard. 2 hard-boiled eggs, choice of pastry, and a coffee for 1 franc. His mother insisted that the cafe be open despite the fact she was homesick, her nerves shot from war and occupation. Young Jean protested, but the Malheur family had no car, no money, and now no way out of Paris. "Erase the eggs," said Louis Boucher, her lush lips stuck in a permanent pout. Jean looked at Mouy with his sad brown eyes and erased the board with his sleeve. He was used to Mouy telling him what to do and what not to do, like falling in love with her. "What does it matter?" Mouy said. Passing the time, the boy tested her patience, which she didn't have much to begin with. And now, with France occupied, she didn't have much hope either. "I say we just give these jackal-laughing Boche the key to the cafe and let them have their way. They're doing the same thing to Paris. Why not the Happy Flower?" Jean said nothing. "Hey, you in there!" one of the Boche shouted in his horrible French. "Bring in another bottle and make it the good stuff." Jean went behind the counter. "I'll take it to them." "No!" Louise stopped him. Her hand shook as she grabbed the bottle. "It's my turn." Jean looked up to her. It's just that I'm worried." "I'm a big girl," Louise snapped. "I can take care of myself. You think I'm some virgin who's been saving herself for you?" Jean dropped his eyes. "He'd rather face 1,000 bullets than take 1 bar from Louis." "Ah, now that's what I'm talking about," a Boche with a buzzard nose said as he grabbed Louis. Startled, Louis dropped the bottle on the table, splashing red wine on the offending Boche's uniform. "Scheiße!" he shouted. "Look what you did, you stupid bitch!" Louis began to apologize, her words spilling out faster than the wine on the table. The buzzard-nosed Boche stood up. "I need a place to clean up." He wrapped his arm around Louise's waist and pulled her in tight. "I guess your place will do." He tried to force a kiss, but when we pushed him off, the rest of the table laughed, even the squint-eyed lieutenant. "Well, I say this girl needs to be taught some manners," he said. Jean came out of the cafe. He tried to put himself between Mouy and the Boche, only to get kicked in the backside for his troubles. "You Frenchies need to learn to lay down like the whipped puppies you are," a Boche with crooked teeth said. The men laughed while the 2 Boche dragged Mouy into the cafe. She tried to scream, but her mouth gaped open like a fish on the banks of the Seine. "Put the girl down!" The command startled the Boche. It spoke with subtle authority, like a whisper from a whirlwind. They turned and noticed an old man with a wide silvery mustache standing at the end of the cobblestone boulevard. A dirty brown cowboy hat sat low on his brow, his linen duster blowing gently behind him like the wings of a tired angel. A big 6-gun rested on his hip. "I said, put the Frau down," Catfish said. "Go away, old man," said the buzzard-nosed Boche in his broken French. "I don't think Grandpa here speaks French," said the Boche with crooked teeth. "He's English." I thought all the English swam away," said a young Boche from the table. "I think our intruder is an American," the squint-eyed lieutenant said. He turned and approached the old cowboy. "Well, I speak English. I think it would be wise for you, how do they say in the movies? Ah, yes, mosey on out." You got the lingo, you sabi the lingo, Catfish said. But I think that you all should be doing the moseying if there's trouble that you can't stop. A bull-botched sergeant rose from the table, his huge hands gripping a submachine gun. He was about to raise it when he heard a loud metallic click. Whoops. Oh no, I got the bullets. That's why he carried a Colt 45 and not a cap gun. Where was I? He heard a loud metallic click. Catfish pulled his 6-gun and pointed the business end at the botched sergeant. The squint-eyed lieutenant held up his hands. Hold up your fire, Sergeant. I believe in the Wild West they had a duel. That's right, said a fat botch, in the middle of a dusty street. Correct, said the squint-eyed lieutenant. A showdown. Like in the movies? Said the young botch soldier. Oh, this is going to be better than poking this whore, said the buzzard-knocked botch. He let go of Maui and joined the rest of his comrades. Maui stumbled for the cafe door. Her first instinct was to grab Jean and run away as far as possible. But just like the botch, she was enthralled by the old cowboy who stood alone against 6. All right, you botched bastard, Catfish said. You want to play 6-gun stud and ante up. But I want your boys to stand down and stay away from their rifles. Catfish pointed at the sergeant. Especially that bull over there with the bullet sprayer. Put your gun on the table, Sergeant. That's an order. The sergeant didn't move. He just stared at the old cowboy. I said, put the goddamn gun on the table! The squint-eyed lieutenant shrieked. The sergeant botch laid his iron on the table, leaving it within easy reach. The noon bells began to toll, echoing through the streets of Paris like a wolf howling through the wide, empty prairie. The squint-eyed lieutenant faced Catfish. On the last toll, we fire. Catfish nodded his head. On the last toll. The second toll rang out. Catfish rolled the 6-shooter off his finger and then slid it back into his leather holster. The third bell tolled. A gentle breeze blew down the cobblestone boulevard. Old tin signs creaked on their hinges. The fourth bell tolled. The squint-eyed lieutenant's hand shook above the butt of his Luger. The fifth bell tolled. The botch gathered together, forgetting their rifles were stacked behind them. The sixth bell tolled. Jean looked on, his soft brown eyes wide in disbelief in what they saw. The seventh bell tolled. An old newspaper with a headline screaming out in bold letters the fall of France blew past the two men. The eighth bell tolled. Catfish took a deep breath and held it. He remembered a time when Butch Cassidy shot a tin can off a fence post from 50 yards at a full gallop. The ninth bell tolled. Beads of sweat dripped off the squint-eyed lieutenant's forehead. The 10th bell tolled. 5 pigeons flew onto the awning, watching the showdown. The 11th bell tolled. The breeze died, and the air was still. The 12th bell tolled. 6 shots rang out along the boulevard while the last bells echoed off the facade. The pigeons flew away, and the next sound was, and if you want to find out what happens, you're going to have to read it in Paris High Noon. Woo!